Hello and happy Friday. This is Pastor Chris coming back to you again with our Sunday morning primer. You may realize this isn't Sunday morning. Sunday morning is coming, however, and so we are getting ready for it. If you don't have a church home, we'd love to have you here at Christ Central. We're at 19 West Shannon. Services are 11, and this Sunday is actually a picnic following church. So if you want to come do that, that would be great. If you have a church home, please pour in and be part of them. Now, we are continuing our series in the book of 1 Samuel. We're all the way up to chapter 12. We're working our way through it fairly quickly through us. And here we're coming to kind of an interesting part of the story. And that is that the high priest is getting ready to step down, and Saul has been moved in and has become the king. Now, if you remember back a number of weeks ago, we talked about the fact that God did not want to install a king, but wanted to keep the judges system. But the people rose up and said they wanted a king. And so it was done for them. And so in chapter 12, what we have is a review of Saul's ministry, all the things that he's done, actually a review of the high priest ministry, and then it goes into the King Saul at that point. And that review, he says a few things. He says, I've done some great things. I've done some pretty poor things I wasn't proud of. And ultimately, he says, at the very least, I'm above reproach. You can't find a place in me where I've stolen from anyone or I've judged poorly. And so if that's the case, then let me know. But I don't know of anything. And he goes through kind of a history of all of that. Then he comes to the end and he basically saying, and all of you have requested a king, and God has done that for you. Unfortunately, he doesn't shy away. He absolutely calls sin and says that was not God's plan, yet here we are. We're going to pick up our reading kind of at the end of the passage down here. Well, let's start at verse 21. I'll put it on the screen right there. It says this: "You must not turn aside, for then you would go after the futile things which cannot profit or deliver, because they are futile. For the Lord will not abandon his people on account of his great name, because the Lord has been pleased to make you a people of himself. Moreover, as for me, far be it from me that I should sin against the Lord by ceasing to pray for all of you. But I will instruct you in the good and right way. Only fear the Lord, serve him in truth with all your heart, for considering what great things he's done for you. But if you still do wickedly, both you and your king will be swept away." I find this very interesting. He basically reviews his ministry and then Saul's ministry and says the kingship is going to continue because it's what you've demanded. Also, the thing you've demanded is not what God wanted yet. Now that we're here, you still have responsibilities to live righteously. Not only do you have responsibility to live righteously, you have the responsibility to follow this king you have appointed over yourselves. Do that, and God will still bless, even though this is not his premium desire for his people. Yet if you choose to continue to sin against him or against the king, which you have now put in place, then you will have to deal with God. I love this story because it means that even through my stubbornness, somewhere in my life, when I've gone against the will of God and I've chased down a thing he doesn't want, I can still be blessed. I can still live righteously by picking up the pieces from where I am and letting God move through that. So that's my encouragement to you. As you consider your life and where you've gone and where you think God is taking you, don't be so discouraged on past mistakes, but pick up the pieces where you are. Continue to live righteously, and God will pick up those pieces for you and bless you, even though it wasn't his premium will to start with. This passage has been exceedingly encouraging for me. I pray it has been for you too. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you can leave them in the comments below, and I would love to get back to you and chat about what you're thinking. If you have a story you'd like to share, the whole community would love to hear it, so feel free to share it. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. God bless.